So after Sambhal and Kashi, the discovery of a Shivling and remnants of a temple at Aligarh, they've actually stirred a hornet's nest. Multiple Hindu organizations are seeking restoration of the temple, and this time, even if it is in a Muslim-dominated area like it was in Sambhal and in Kashi. The Hindus insist it's about Vishwas, or their belief, and Virasat, the legacy. But is there an apprehension that this could lead to simmering anger and angst? Are we now sitting on the edge of a volcano of communal tensions that may erupt any time? What is the need of the hour to ensure peace, harmony, and progress? That should remain central to India's growth story as the quest for Vishwas and Virasat continues. Joining me on India First is Sharad Trivedi of the Bharatiya Janata Party. Vivek Silas represents the Samajwadi Party. Dr. Vikram Singh is former Director General of the Uttar Pradesh Police, someone who's been a part of the history of Uttar Pradesh in the past for decades and more. But Sharad Trivedi, I want to begin by asking you, sir, are Vishwas and Virasat, belief and legacy, now more important than peace, harmony, progress and prosperity? What do you make of the remains of a temple or a Shivling found in Muslim-dominated areas, sir?
I don't understand. How is this an oxymoron? You can be peaceful and you can have a temple. This is the most peaceful religion on earth it has ever been. They are not mutually opposite words. It's the same thing. You have a religion, you have got a religion of peace, you have got a temple. I don't think it has hurt anybody. Not a single temple has been constructed over a masjid. It is the mosques which have been constructed over temples. So this is not an issue of peace. It is not an issue of aggrandizement. This is a thing which existed. They are reclaiming their legacy. And I want to tell you one thing, that this is a time for peace. This is a time for reconciliation. We have seen the king of Japan and the prime minister of Japan apologizing to the comfort women in Korea who were being abused during the World War II. We have seen the Germans giving billions of dollars to the Israelis for the crimes committed by Nazis. We had the Queen of England coming to Jallianwala Bagh. She didn't express, she didn't say sorry, but she expressed regret that that thing had happened. It is a time for reconciliation. Please give it back to those who worship it.
Okay.
What is wrong with it? Some crime, something has happened in the past. We have got an SC/ST Act. We have got an OBC Act. Why? Because something wrong had been done to these people in the past. We are trying to say sorry. It's a collective way of the government of India, the people of India saying sorry to these OBC, SC, ST people that yes, something wrong had happened. We are saying sorry. We are going to restore your honor. Please restore the honor of these people who have been deprived of the most sacred places.
Fair enough. Let me take this to Vivek Silas.
Allah or Paigambar Muhammad were not born in India. This is something native to India. Ram is the heart of and soul of the country. We have got Baba Vishwanath, the heart and soul of the country. And we have got a confessional statement of the people who did it in our law. Yes. Legal system, confessional statement is given the highest level of importance in criminal law.
Fair enough.
We have got Babar himself saying that I have done it. We have even got the date, 2nd September 1669, when the Ayodhya temple was demolished and the report was filed in Kashi Vishwanath Mandir was demolished and the report filed with him in the Mughal court.
Let me then take this to Vivek Silas. Vivek Silas, you heard Mr. Trivedi. The point is there should be truth and there should be reconciliation. If Hindus want to reclaim their places of worship that they were denied in some instances for decades, in some instances for centuries, why not, even if it's in a Muslim-dominated area?
Yes, good evening to all of you and good evening to you. I would just like to say India has a glorious and a magnificent past of more than 5,000 years now. You know, if you go anywhere, you'll find temples everywhere, you know. Even if it is found in a Muslim-dominated area, it doesn't make a difference at all, you know. But the thing is, temple was found in Kannauj as well, you know, and that temple was closed for the last almost 36 years, you know. since 1978. And the thing was that the owner of the temple, the owner of the land, and the man who made the temple, Mr. Rastogi, he said that there was no pujari there to worship. There were no followers who used to come. That was the reason that he had to close the temple. I think Bharatiya Janata Party should make sure the temples all over India that are being found, whether they are in the Hindu-dominated areas or the Muslim-dominated area, pujari should be nominated. They should have a salary, and you should start with the bhajan kirtan. That doesn't make a difference at all.
So
I don't think it will.
This is the official position of the Samajwadi Party. This is the official position of the Samajwadi Party. Reopen temples, whether it's in Sambhal or in Kashi or in Aligarh or wherever else in the country. Reopen those temples. That's the point you're making, and that there will be no communal violence. There should be no communal tension. That's the point Samajwadi Party is making.
There should be not, because India has been a peaceful country.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
India is a peaceful country. There will not be, because, and you know what, you talked about peace, harmony, prosperity and progress. That is what the Bharatiya Janata Party is lacking at the moment.
I wanted to ask you, if everything is so good, if everything is so good, why is it that policemen have to be deployed even to put electricity meters in Sambhal? If everything is so nice, if everything is so peaceful, why is it that the electricity department is scared to enter an area where an electricity meter needs to be installed, and that massive deployment has to take place?
The problem is that the kind of politics that the Bharatiya Janata Party is doing at the moment, what happened in Bahraich. At the end of the day, it came out that the Bharatiya Janata Party and the people was responsible for the riots in Bahraich. And it's the Bharatiya Janata Party MLA who has said he has not been questioned. He has not been suspended from the Bharatiya Janata Party. That means Bharatiya Janata Party somehow or the other accepts that the Bahraich riots were done by the Bharatiya Janata Party. So this is the type of politics that they have been playing. If you see in 2024 what the Honorable Prime Minister said, he said कि आएंगे कभी आपके मंगलसूत्र छीन के ले जाएंगे, कभी आपकी बहू बेटियों को उठा के ले जाएंगे, कभी वो कपड़ों से पहचान लेते हैं, कभी दिवाली की बात करते हैं, कभी शमशान कब्रिस्तान की बात करते हैं, तब कभी
I wanted to bring in Dr. Vikram Singh, since you've raised a question about Bahraich. Mr. Trivedi, Mr. Trivedi, quickly respond to the point that he's raised before I bring in Dr. Vikram Singh for a fact check on this.
What my friend Vivek has been saying is based on the first FIR which was filed on the basis of wrong information. Subsequently, when the real facts came out, the FIR has been withdrawn. The MLA has already withdrawn the FIR because it was based on false information which he had received, and as a local representative of the people, he had to go to the police to file the FIR. So that chapter is closed. It has nothing to do with that. This was a peaceful yatra which was taking place. One of these Shanti Doot jumped onto the bandwagon. He pulled out the pen drive which was being used to play the music. That is when the whole thing started.
Okay.
It has nothing to do with Hindus, or it has got to do with the Muslims. This is the problem of the politicians. The secular front is the problem. I can prove it. It is not a problem of the Muslims or the Hindus. We should remember that the Sonia ke Asu, the information was given by Salman Khurshid. Salman Khurshid himself is Muslim. He never said that he had Asu in his eyes. The words like Osama bin Laden ji and Hafiz Sahab was not said by any Muslim or Hindu. It was said by Digvijay Singh ji. So it is not a question of Hindu-Muslim. It is the question of the secular parties. They are the people who are crying because they have got an idea that howling with these kind of slogans or taking such names is going to get them votes. It's simple. It has nothing to do with either
Hindus or Muslims. That's a pertinent point you raise. However, the Congress is not here on this debate. But I want to bring in Dr. Vikram Singh. Dr. Vikram Singh, if India is truly proud, and I want us to be proud of the Ganga Jamuni Tehzeeb of our country, and you heard the Samajwadi Party representative saying that Muslims will have no problems, nobody has a problem if temples are reopened in Muslim dominated areas, and if pujaris are appointed everywhere, and if temples start. I don't think there is a problem, but why was then there a problem with the survey that was happening, at the Harihar Mandir or the Shahi Masjid in Sambhal? But though that's another issue. But would you want to come in for a fact check, Dr. Vikram Singh?
Absolutely. Good evening, Gaurav and esteemed panelists. Words of profound wisdom from Mr. Vivek ji and very soothing in the current charged atmosphere. Indeed, it is not impossible for the district magistrate to nominate a pujari for every Lawaris temple or a Maulavi for every Lawaris mosque if there is any. But where there is a will, there is a way, and this is perfectly doable. Now, coming to the fact that if we're getting temples one or the other way, there should be a survey. And the stoning of the commission duly appointed by the court in the Harihar Mandir, that was best avoided. And why it happened? It did not happen on the first day. I have served in that area for 3 years in the DIG and nothing happened. But I do think that there are vested interests, there are criminal elements, irrespective of community, irrespective of political affiliations. I would say that anyone who usurps the other community's lands and creates this property as a hub of illegitimate supply of electricity, and then also maliciously concealing the temples with a criminal intent, that is a cause of concern, and it fulfills all the ingredients of land mafia. And therefore my recommendation would be also to register a case under the UP Gangsters Act and have it investigated on the people who were the immediate beneficiaries of this land grab and also this illegitimate supply of electricity. It is not just one thing. One thing has led to another. There are criminal, and there's a brazen argument that if I am in even illegitimate possession of any land for 10 years, by the doctrine of adverse possession, that land belongs to me. No, it does not happen. That way, any usurper will come, stay there for 13 years and say this land is mine, doesn't belong to you. That is just, a misinterpretation and a very absurd interpretation of law. The law states it will be attached under the CRPC, and the SDM court or the police commissioner court will sit in judgment and say the Malikana Haq and the title papers will be reviewed and then handed to the rightful owner.
Vivek Silas is saying that every temple should be reopened. Let the state government, let Yogi Adityanath's government appoint a pujari, even if it's in a Muslim-dominated areas. Now, a locked-up temple, for example, in Sambhal or Aligarh or Kashi, should the administration open it, wait for courts of law, or is there an apprehension? Wear your legal hat. Could it lead to a law and order breakdown?
No, if the secular parties are kept under control, I don't think there's going to be any law and order problem whatsoever. Bharatiya Janata Party is not in the business of opening temples, but if some private individual files a case in the court, he takes a legal route and wants the sort of his own redressal of his grievances, so there is no problem. The government is going to provide full support. That is exactly what happened in Sambhal. Mr. Jain, Vishnu Shankar Jain, is neither a member of the Bharatiya Janata Party, nor I don't think any one of his family members are a member of Bharatiya Janata Party. He went to the court in Sambhal, and he is the one who got the order. The government was had to execute the court mandate. That is what the government did. But these Shanti Doots landed up there, they created the trouble. We have got 50 surveys taking place in every district under court mandate every day. We don't have rights. It is only when we have got the kind of an agent provocator like Shafiqur Rahman Bark or his nephew now, Ziaur Rahman Bark. These are the kind of people who do these kind of things. We've already seen that a meter was taken out from his house, which had zero reading for the last 6 months. And when the fresh meter, a test meter was put in place, within 12 hours, the reading was showing 98 units. We have pillars inside mosques which are providing 135 connections in Sambhal. It is Samajwadi Party and their cohorts. They have to answer the question: why was this happening?
Okay. There is a blurring of lines between the party, the government, and the police during the Samajwadi Party. We have seen that in Ayodhya, the Thana was running from a private land and the bakery was running on government land. Here we have got the Shafiqur Rahman Bark's house having this kind of electricity connections. I think even a Panwala has got a better meter reading than him. You want to quickly respond, Mr. Silas, because when you say Hindus locked up those homes and left, and that led to temples being closed, Yogi Adityanath on the floor of the house gave details why Hindus had to lock up their house and leave, because they were massacred. 184 in 1978, he said, were chopped in pieces and burnt. That is why Hindus left. Now, if they're seeking reopening of their temples and the illegality that's been on, the alleged illegality that Mr. Trivedi points to, respond to that, sir.
What happened in 1978, if at all it is true, because I was a kid at that time, but if something like that had happened in the past, it is absolutely, something to be shameful about it. But now it is the past. We have to look in the future what is going to happen. The basic thing is there should be peace, harmony, and progress of the country.
Okay, so truth and reconciliation is something that you speak of. What is your understanding, sir? Whether it is Mathura or Kashi or the Harihar temple at Sambhal or these temples that are being located, should Hindus be, legally seeking access to their places of worship, or will it lead to a tinderbox situation?
It cannot lead to a tinderbox situation, because no war can be humanity's permanent state, no writing can be permanent, and no peace can be the perpetuation of such a right. There has to be a reconciliation, and that reconciliation will happen only when there is rapprochement. And any status quo can be impinged only by judicial intervention, neither by any one of us, nor by any political party, nor by the police, nor by the magistracy. One. Now, there can be no two Bethlehems, there can be no two Makkah and Madinas. Likewise, there cannot be two Ajodhyas, two Kashis, and two Mathuras. Similarly, if the place has a permanent place in the mythology, in the philosophy and the rituals of a faith, well, all of us need to respect that. And the manner in which the ghettoization happened in these areas, you also mentioned Yogi Ji's speech, 22 wells were also covered up. Yes. And the sub-power station was made illegitimate. How can that happen? That happens only when you build a citadel around yourself so that there is no entry of any PSC or paramilitary force, any magistrate or any police force or the home guard. No intelligence officer, because there is a feeling, हमारे इलाके में पुलिस कैसे आ सकती है? The ground reality should be the police can go anywhere where there is a legal requirement. Therefore, it has to be both the sides have to sit, and learned panelists like Trivedi ji, Seles sir, all need to sit together and find a way out, because we just cannot go on like this. There has to be an understanding. Okay. And if there is a temple, I would expect the community to be magnanimous enough to hand it over and undo the historical wrong that has happened in the past, because that scar is bleeding and that scar has to be healed before there is a talk of permanent peace.
And let courts decide. There can be no citadels and no-go areas for security forces if they need to go there legally. To all my guests, many thanks for joining me.